Hello guys, welcome back. So now here in this session we'll start a topic called withholding tax. So of course this is the part of tax guys, taxes and related configurations we have to do. Okay, so let's have a look. Now so guys, if we talk about taxes, whatever taxes are there guys throughout the world, I'll say not only in India, even other countries also. Mostly the taxes are segregated in two parts, that is called direct and indirect taxes. Okay, it is divided into two parts, direct tax and indirect tax. Now, here I'll not go in details like what is the definition of direct tax, what is the definitions of indirect tax. Most likely you guys might be knowing. If not, then multiple blogs are available on Google. You can check it, right? So direct taxes means direct the tax, whatever the tax burden is there, directly it is falling on us. Indirect taxes, that is that tax burden also falls on the head of, like, that is coming on the head of consumer itself indirectly. Okay, so direct taxes means somebody is taking money from your pocket. That is your direct loss, right? So likewise, let's suppose the income tax. Look at here, income tax, wealth tax is the example of direct taxes, right? Income tax in the sense, like, let's suppose where you all are working somewhere. So the moment we are getting our salary, uh, it's the kind of services we are giving our services to particular. If I'm working in a particular organization, it means I'm giving my services, right? So in turn, every month I'm going to get some amount for that. So whatever my earning is there, guys, right? Whatever my earning is there, that I'm getting in the form of salary from the employer. Now what is happening, guys? The tax department is saying that, okay, I will not charge the amount from, like, I will not ask amount to from that candidates and all who amount you pay to the employee. So employer itself is going to deduct certain portion, certain part, right? And that is going to be deducted in the form of tax. That is called TDS actually. It is a direct tax, right? That is called income tax, isn't it? So look at here, directly if your total salary is, let's suppose, 40K, out of which if somebody has deducted 4K saying that this is the TDS, this is the tax, it means directly we have paid that amount, right? Now, so direct tax, indirect tax, again indirect taxes, GST comes into picture. So that we'll discuss later because the taxes means direct and indirect. So in this session, we are going to talk about direct tax, not about the indirect tax. For indirect tax, again, a different configuration is there. Okay, that we'll discuss later. Right now, we'll talk about direct tax. So here, okay, so direct tax means, now I said mostly here, if you talk about, look at here, some definitions. Direct taxes means tax, direct tax is a tax an individual or organization pays directly to the imposing entity, right? When a tax is imposed on the, this is just a definitions which I have just noted down, guys. You can read it out, it's okay. But whatever I explained, the same thing is there, right? Here. Indirect tax we'll discuss separately again in upcoming session. Now, so here we are going to talk about direct tax. Direct tax is the burden of this direct tax directly going to fall on the payers only, right? Okay. Now, so withholding tax. What is this withholding tax, guys? Withholding tax is nothing but your direct tax itself. Withholding tax means the tax deducted at source by the payer of income. Okay. Withholding tax, why it is called withholding tax, guys? Certain amount is going to be withheld by employer. Okay. So, or the payer of income. That is why it is called withholding tax. Right? In India, it is called TDS. tax deducted at source. So TDS is mainly deducted on the payment of multiple things are there, guys. On the payment of salary, commissions, brokerage, rents, fee for professional and technical services. So why it is important for the organizations? There are multiple vendors who is giving services. Let's suppose an audit firm is there. This audit firm is giving their professional services, guys. Any law firm is there. They're giving their professional services, right? There is a certain consultancy or different firm is there who is going to supply the labors and all. That is also a kind of services we are getting. So guys, what happened? Every month these firms are going to send their invoices also, right? So whatever invoice we have received, now what will happen, guys? At the time of payment, you must have to deduct certain portion, certain part, and then we are going to make payment to the vendor. Okay. So this is called withholding tax, TDS, whatever you say. So now, how it is going to happen and how much percentage taxes are going to be deducted, guys? These things will be informed by your clients. Generally, I'll just give a small information here. So multiple sections are there. Section 194C, 194H, 194I in different countries and different kind of what do you say conditions will be there. It's okay. But now, so what is happening, guys? In different sections, what is happening here? Whatever the services are there, that is categorized. Right? If you talk about a contractor, right? So contractor related services that comes under 194 under 194 C. Commission or brokerage that comes under 194 H. Rent comes under 194 I. Right? Payment for the like uh, professional services, technical services. So such kind of services, it comes under 194G. It means under this section, it is specified all the terms and conditions, right? How much, like let's suppose, how much percentage is like, let's suppose if you talk about uh, rent or professional services, right? So how much percentage is applicable? How much percentage in the sense, say for example, rent. If rent is like, if it is, if we are having any land, furniture, fixtures, if any plant and machinery, whatever is there, so different percentage is there, right? If the vendor is an individual, then what should be the tax percentage? If vendor is an organization, then what is the tax percentage? If the vendor is individual, right? But from the citizen of India, then what is the tax percentage? If vendor is individual, but citizen of other countries, then what will be the tax percentage? If the vendor is from India having PAN card, PAN number, then what is the tax percentage? Nowadays, PAN number become mandatory, guys, right? So such kind of conditions are going to be specified here, isn't it? So these all things, okay. So these all things will be like your client is going to whenever we do the configurations, guys, how many tax percentage is required, right? So these all things will be explained by client, and as per that, we have to do the configurations. Okay. Now, so we'll do one thing, guys. In this withholding tax also, what is happening? Multiple things are there to discuss, right? But first of all, we'll do the configuration part, basic configurations, right? We'll perform the testing. Then one by one, we'll talk about the scenario and then we'll come back and when whatever the associated configurations are there, that will be done. So this is how you guys will be having a perfect idea that, okay, this configurations, in which conditions this configuration is going to be done, in which conditions like, so scenario wise configurations will be done. But first of all, I'll do a basic configuration first. We'll do the minimum configurations, we'll perform the testing and then we'll talk about the scenario. So let me log in. And guys, here both server is working fine. Server number 1 also, 2 also, both are working fine. Okay. So format is not required. I think they have increased what to say storage capacity. So let's see how long it is going to. Okay, last. So now here I'll use path. Okay, because whatever transaction code is there for this withholding tax and all, it's a quite what to say difficult, guys, to remember, and that too table and other things will come into picture. So it's pretty simple. Go to financial accounting new here, expand this one, then financial accounting global setting, and then here we are having withholding tax, and then extended withholding tax. Okay, there is a difference between withholding tax and extended withholding tax. Extended withholding tax is having some additional functionality which is added here, right? Under extended withholding tax, some additional functionalities are added. So always whenever we have to do the configurations and all, we are going to do this, use this extended withholding tax itself. You expand this one, expand this basic setting, check withholding tax country. So guys, here withholding tax country, it's already, it will be there here. It will be there. No need to do anything, guys. Simply you just keep it as it is. Define withholding tax key. So here, give your country key. So look at here, guys. Whatever the sections I have specified, right? Those sections are going to be specified here. 184 IJ. It is already done by people. Somebody has given test also. Okay. So just save it. That is going to be specified here. After that, define regions for exemptions. Okay, so guys, regions for exemptions page, I'll tell you. See, some vendor, whatever vendors are there, right? Let's suppose we are having vendor A. Multiple vendors are there. From these all vendor, we are buying a similar kind of services. We are taking similar. These vendors are giving similar kind of services. So for every vendor, let's suppose same tax is applicable, guys. So we create a tax code. Let's suppose T1. This tax code is assigned to the vendor master. That I'll let you know, don't worry. Practically, I'll show you. So let's suppose this is the tax percentage. Now this vendor E says that I am having exemption certificate, 60% exemption certificate. I'll explain this scenario, guys. It's pretty simple, but very important. Okay. So if vendor E says that I'm having like 60% exemption certificate with me, it means for E, only 4% tax is supposed to be deducted. What is the 60% of 10%, guys? 6. So 6% is exemptions. It means 10 minus 6 equals 4. So see, E is going to pay only 4% of taxes, right? So in that case, what is happening, guys? In vendor master, we are going to make some changes, right? So this exemption percentage and these things are going to be specified over there. So while specifying this exemption percentage over there, right? Even we are going to specify the region also. What is the reason for this exemptions? So exemptions are like under different various sections are there for exemptions also, guys. Exemptions under so and so. I'll show you here. Somebody already might have created. Look at here, different what do you say, this one conditions are there. So what is happening simply, okay, so simply we are going to specify a 2-digit code. We are not going to write this descriptions in the vendor master. Simply we are going to specify this code, okay, and these all things are going to be updated. Lower deductions, no deductions, whatever it is. So one 2-digit exemptions code is going to be, let's suppose here somebody has already divided. Let's suppose exemptions. So again, let's see, exemptions because it is a semi-government vendor. Okay, so this code I have defined. So instead of writing these details and all in vendor master, we are going to assign this exemptions, this 2-digit code, right, in vendor master. Now this will come into picture again. Don't worry. Recipient types. Recipient type means that is like whether it is company or other than company. But again, for recipient types, it will ask for something. I think tax type maybe. Tax type, it is asking tax type. Anyway, you leave it. There is no, it's not a mandatory this one. Tax type and tax code I'll explain, don't worry. So now here, nothing else. Simply come on this calculations and withholding tax type. Expand this one and define withholding tax type for invoice posting. Country key India. Minimum setting we are going to do, guys. So okay, new entry. Tax type I'm giving a code here. E1. Okay. No need to do anything, guys. There is a logic that I'll explain to you. And there is a very, I'll tell you guys, there is certain controls are there of this tax type. Very less people know these things. Okay. That I'll explain you. Some exclusive examples will be given. Don't worry. So now here, press enter and come back. So what I have done, I have created a tax type. Then create a tax code also. So the tax code is going to be created under tax type. First of all, I have to give here tax type and tax code also I'm going to give the same code. And withholding tax key in the sense like this deduction is happening under which sections, 194I, 194J, whatever it is. So let's suppose 194I, it is, we are having rent GL already. So I'll just, and keep this percentage always in round figure, guys, because it will be quite easy for you guys to understand. Now percentage subject to tax. Percentage subject to tax means, let's suppose the invoice amount is 1000. So here 10% TDS means 100 tax. If I says that only 60% is the subject to tax, it means 60% of invoice amount is going to be subject to tax. It means 60% means 600, right? And 10% of 600 is 60. This is the tax. Okay, so here we are going to specify 100%, guys. Okay. Posting indicator. There is a logic behind this posting indicator also, guys. If you watch any video anywhere, nothing is there, right? But earlier I've seen like people have asked certain questions and none of the candidates are able to answer. Don't worry, I'll explain it. I'll give an exclusive example for this. Right now we just give one. Yeah, give 1 itself. Okay. What is the logic that you guys will come to know? Don't worry. Now, withholding tax rate. So let's suppose 10%. Okay. Remaining things are these all are country specific setting guides related to different countries. So we are not going to have a look into those things. Okay. Even I also don't know in which cases it is going to be used. So now here, save it. What we have done, guys, I'll tell you. We are having tax type and we are having tax code. Now, say for example, we have a tax type T1. Okay. And when we create a tax code, guys, tax code always is going to be defined under tax type itself. Tax code is going to be set up under tax type. Okay. Now, various tax percentage. So tax type, this is tax type, right? Under that, we are having multiple, or else I'll just make it like TP, tax type. Under this, we are having tax code T1, T2, T3, right? So under one tax type, we can define multiple tax code, right? We can define multiple tax code. Let's suppose this is T1 means 2%. Say for example, we are talking about rent itself. So for land and machinery, 2%. Let's suppose if we are having any let's suppose nowadays what is happening, guys, even multiple BPO or KPOs and other organizations are there, right? So whatever the systems are there, whatever the laptops, desktops are there, like even that is also available on the rent, right? So say for example 5%. Okay. Any other things like leasehold land or whatever it is, let's suppose. So 3 different kind of tax percentages there. So now the question is, the tax should be 2%, 5%, or 10%, right? So how it is going to be determined by system, guys? It is going to be determined by system with the help of tax code. So what kind of control is there, guys? Tax code going to control the tax percentage. That is the one thing, guys. The next control is, I shown you like how much percentage subject to tax. In the sense, overall invoice amount is there, right? So how much percentage of invoice amount is subject to tax? That control is there. Where? At tax code level. This is tax code. This is tax code. These 3 is tax code. What about the tax type? Right? What about the tax type? So guys, tax type is also having certain control. Can anybody explain? Can anybody let me know what is the control? What is the use of tax type? Anyone is having any idea? Anyone want to say something about the tax type, guys? Okay, Mahesh saying no idea. Other people?
Sir, you are asking about tax type, no?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Tax type, a control net. We have options like net amount and gross amount. If you select net amount means exclude the tax, sir. If you select the gross amount means you include the tax and calculate the percentage from net amount.
Net amount means?
Net amount means suppose if the the amount is 1000 means it will calculate on that amount. If we give the cross option means it will calculate including the tax.
Okay. Okay. Great. Anybody want to add anything, guys? Okay. So I'll tell you guys. I'll give a very simple explanations. Even apart from this, also certain controls are there. That also you guys will come to know in the form of scenario. Okay. So now here I said like tax type, sorry, tax code and tax type. So these all tax code is responsible for what, guys? Tax percentage, right? Suppose invoice amount is 1000, right? And when the vendor is going to send the invoice, even GST, VAT, or whatever the taxes are there, that is also going to be calculated. So GST is, let's suppose, 10%. Generally, it is 5%, 12%, 18%, and the next one is 28, right? So anyway, I'll just, when I talk about the percentage, guys, I prefer to quote the percentage in round figure so that it will be calculations are going to be easy, right? So let's suppose GST 10%, so it is 100, right? So this is the invoice amount we have. This is the total overall invoice we have received worth of 11, right? Now what happened, guys, when this is going to be posted in our system, right? So now what is happening? When you make payment to the vendor, then TDS must be deducted. Now it means TDS first of all TDS must be calculated, guys. Then only the deduction is going to happen. So TDS is going to be calculated. So this is like overall 1100, right? So the TDS is going to be calculated on gross amount or net amount. This is called net amount, right? Gross amount means these two. Invoice amount plus taxes is called gross amount. Net amount means this 1000, right? So the TDS is going to be calculated on this amount or this amount. That is going to be controlled by what, guys? Okay. Tax type is having other control also. You guys will come to know that, as you said, like I have to explain later scenarios, right? So right now what you have to say, and there is another thing is what happened. Okay. When you talk about like this tax type and tax code. So in vendor master, guys, it is going to be assigned. Let's suppose this vendor falls under this 2% category or 5% category or 10% category, right? So this tax type and tax code combination is going to be assigned to the vendor master. And at a time, what is happening, guys? Only one combination can be assigned to the vendor master. It's not like you are going to assign TT plus T1, TT plus T2, TT plus T3. No, only one. Either one can be assigned. One vendor means it falls under one category itself, right? Not it's not like the 2% also, 5% also, 10% also. No. So only one pair is going to be assigned here. If in case, if let's suppose in case in exceptional cases, let's suppose if we required like these 2%, then two different tax types supposed to be created, then it is going to happen. Tax type in the sense like let's suppose tax type T8 and for this one tax type T2. Two different tax types supposed to be created against this tax type, this tax code, and this tax type, this tax code. Then these two combinations are going to be both can be assigned to the vendor master. Okay. Now, so what we have to do, guys? Okay. And posting indicator for this one, a separate session will be there. Don't worry. Then what next? Okay. Then company code. Assign tax type to the company code. So click on new entry, and here TM10 tax type is T1, and you must have to apply a check mark, then only the tax calculations will happen. And it is like a validity is supposed to be given, so always we are going to give lifelong validity for every whatever the tax type is there. Control S, save it, and come back. Activate extended withholding tax. So here activation is pretty simple, guys. Right now what is happening? Right now if you check here, XK02 or XK03. What is the vendor number, guys?
Sir, company code is different, sir.
Company code is correct, na?
TM33. TM334.
33. Oh my god. It's okay. I thought it is TM10. So I think this one is the vendor. Yes. So now here, it's pretty simple, guys. Now click on payment transactions. Directly we are going to go to that particular accounting info. It will take you to that particular screen. Likewise, we are having withholding tax. If you press enter, nothing is appearing. Press enter, it is not appearing, right? This field itself is not appearing. Why? Because this is not activated yet. So now we are going to activate. TM33, activate, save it. So now it is activated. Now if you press enter, okay, so once again you can use XK02 because activation we have done just now. Now look at here. So here we assign the combinations, tax type and tax code. Tax type and tax code is going to be assigned here, right? The reason behind is several thousand vendors are there, right? Several thousand vendors are there. For every vendor are different. Every vendors are going to let's suppose deliver different kind of services. Okay, so that is eligible for different tax percentage, guys. So how it is possible to remember like which vendor is eligible for how much percentage? So simply initially itself at the time of setting up this vendor master, the purchasing team will request these all things. So they will specify that okay, this vendor falls under which categories and also what is the tax code and what is the tax type supposed to be assigned in the vendor master. That is going to be assigned to the vendor master. After that, what will happen, guys? Simply once the invoices are going to be received by users, they will simply post the invoice. Tax deductions, tax calculations will happen automatically. How? We'll see that. Okay. Now, then what next? So, I said like tax calculations are going to happen automatically, right? Okay. So, if the tax calculations are going to happen automatically, then what is happening, guys? The GL account also supposed to be identified or determined by system automatically itself. So if GL account is going to be determined by system automatically, then what will happen? GL account must be assigned somewhere, right? So let's suppose if I have an invoice worth of 1000 and TDS, I mean to say tax, worth of, let's suppose, 10%, right, or 15%. TDS is applicable. Now tell me guys, and let's suppose we have received a rent invoice worth of 1000. TDS must be deducted 1500. So what is the accounting entry here when you post the invoice? TDS must be deducted at the time of invoice posting itself. So tell me guys the accounting entry.
Rent account repeated 1000.
Rent account 1000.
Vendor account credited.
Vendor account credit. How much?
850. 850.
850.
And TDS payable credited 150.
A lot of noise comes from your side, Jafar. See this PAY eligible is credited. So this is what the entry is supposed to be, guys. Okay, this is the entry supposed to be. So this TDS payable, okay, TDS payable or rent, TDS on rent, TDS or professional services, multiple GL accounts are going to be created, right? So this GL account is supposed to be determined by system automatically. Okay, so how this auto determination will happen, guys? That GL account we must have to assign somewhere. Where it is going to be assigned, that I'll let you know. First of all, what we have to do, first continue. Okay, so TDS payable, right? TDS payable is our liability, right? Make it 1002. TDS on, let's suppose, rent account. A simple normal GL is going to be created, guys. Okay, you can apply a check mark post automatically. Anyway, this is going to be determined by system automatically only. Now, so we have created this GL account. What next? It must be assigned somewhere. Then only system is going to determine this. Okay, so you assign here. You select tax type and tax code and save it. Control S. Okay, so T1 is the tax type and T1 itself is the tax code, and we have even, like, let's suppose, so since we have to create multiple GL accounts, right? Let's suppose this is like, I'll tell you, we have right, let's suppose this TT and T1, TT and T2, TT and T3, right? So for this is like related to rent. For that we have created this GL account 2002. Likewise, we are having, let's suppose, TX for professional services, and again multiple tax codes will be there. TY, again, that is for what to say, brokerage and all, right? So multiple tax type is going to be created and tax code is going to be created, and multiple GLs are also going to be created. Rent related on all transactions are going to be all this TDS is going to be posted in a separate GL. Professional services related taxes are going to be posted in a separate GL, right? So how many GL need to be created? That will be that we are going to get those input from client, right? How many tax type, tax code is going to be created, guys? For that, there will be a long discussions with the client. Okay, first of all, we need to understand. You tell us like how many percentages are going to be deducted. They will explain multiple scenario. That in this case 5%, in this case 2%, in this case 7%. So for every percent, for every single percent, what is happening, guys? You have to define a new tax code. Tax type can be like one or two, it's okay. Let's suppose a different section 5 that I'm talking about, 194I, that is related to rent, right? So for rent, like whatever the rent related invoices are there, right? So if the client says that on rent invoices, whatever the tax percentage is there, right? So the tax calculation will happen on net amount for every percentage, no matter whether it is 2%, 10%, 5%. So if the tax calculations, TDS calculation will happen on the net amount, then what will happen? Single tax type is going to be created. But they are saying that 6 or 7 different percentage is going to be right calculated. 2%, 4%, 6%, 11%, 12%. So 6 different tax code need to be created. Tax type we have to create only one, but six different tax codes supposed to be created, right? Okay. So in this way, we can assign here the GL account. Okay. Now here 2000. Save it. Even we can like okay, this tax type and tax code and then GL. Why I have selected? Say for example, for this, so we are having two combinations. TT, T1, TT, T2, TT, and T10. Let's suppose client says that this percentage, this is the a different case, guys, and whatever the tax percentage, this is like let's suppose 12%. So this is supposed to be posted against a different GL, right? In that case, what is happening, guys? 2002, 2002, and year 2003. Then tax type and tax code must be given. If the client says that all tax related, rent related details, right? In the sense taxes are going to be posted against a single GL account. Then no need to specify this tax code, guys. Simply against tax type itself, we are going to assign the GL account. So it overall depends upon the situation. But generally in real time, what happened, guys? Of course, we specify tax type and tax code both. Okay. Such kind of whatever the first conditions I specified, such kind of conditions comes. So that is why tax type and tax code. Whether client says or not, we simply specify tax type and tax code. If they says like only one rent related for all rent related what is the taxes are there single GL itself. It's okay. Tax type and then whatever the tax codes are there, those combinations are going to be assigned. Those combinations are going to be given. We can assign the GL account. The only thing is like the number of lines are going to be increased, right? So likewise for other tax type also, you can assign the tax type, then tax code and GL accounts. Just save it. So what we have done, whatever the basic minimum configurations are there that we have done, right? Now there is another thing. So what we have done, we have defined a tax type and tax code. Okay, so whatever tax type and tax code we have defined, that must be assigned to the vendor master. Right? Why it is going to be assigned to the vendor master, guys? Several thousand vendors are there. How you will come to know that this vendor falls under which category? 2%, 5%, or 10%. So at the time of creation itself, what is happening, guys? At the time of creation of vendor master, right? The purchase department, the master data team will be there. That master data team is going to receive the request from where? From purchase department. Pretty simple scenario is there. Let's suppose Tata Motor is there, right? So Tata Motor means they'll be having a procurement department. What is the main responsibility of this procurement department, guys? That is called purchasing department or purchasing team or procurement team, whatever you say. So these people are responsible to procure the raw materials. Not only raw materials, guys, even procurement means materials or services, right? So there will be a particular team, a specific team will be there. These people, they will keep on finding the new vendors in the market, right? And they will negotiate all the general terms, including the terms of payment, including the payment mode, including the taxes, everything are going to be, and whatever the charges in the sense material price and everything are going to be, multiple conditions are going to be negotiated with the vendor, right? Once both parties are agreed, then what happened? Then purchase department is going to ask the details of that vendor, and they are going to raise request to the master data team to set up this particular vendor. So when the master data team receives this vendor for creation, so at the time of creation itself, the purchase department is going to specify that we are going to buy these services and this vendor will fall under 2% category or 5% category. So they will specify that which this vendor is eligible for which tax type and tax code. That is going to be specified against vendor master. What is the benefit, guys? The benefit is in the country code. The benefit is no need to remember, no need to remember that okay, how much percentage is going to be deducted. Okay, you have to apply a check mark. This is how activation is going to happen. Control S, save it, press enter. Okay, so now we have done with each and everything. Now what next, guys? The next one is we have to post the invoice and we'll have to check whether it is working fine or not. Few errors will come initially, guys. Pretty simple logic is there, root cause is there, that some one error will be coming from other module also. In real time, that will not appear since we don't have uh, the logistic, related in the sense from logistic side, we don't have any consultant, right? MMSD people are not there. So that is why people consultant is not there. So that is why those error will appear. I'll let you know, uh, like how to rectify that. But again, that is going to be explained in next session. We'll post one invoice. We'll see how the deduction is happening, and then we'll proceed further with the scenarios.